What a game. And this is what it means. Manchester City now just 6 points behind Arsenal, and those goals brought despair here at Anfield and at Arsenal as well, because the Gunners well know that City have negotiated one of the biggest hurdles left in their season. And remember, Arsenal are still to go to the Etihad Stadium as well. They're on 50. Liverpool stay there in 6th place. Had that third goal for City stood, they would have actually slipped to 7th, and Brentford would have climbed into the top 6. Small things to be thankful for.
Some decisions that happened today that obviously decide eventually the game as well.
So you're talking about refereeing decisions there?
No, obviously, like, just in general, I think, moments in the game. So, yeah, so that's what I mean.
So no complaints particularly. There are, as there seems to be pretty much every game, big decisions in the match. Gahey pulling back, Salah, perhaps you could see a different decision. What would have been the third goal would be another one, the penalty would be another.
Yeah, obviously we have no influence on that. I think the penalty with Nunes, I think, yeah, he could have given it it went so fast. But yeah, we have only ourselves to blame, and we have to quickly turn our attention to Sunderland, because yeah, that's going to be a very tough one, hell of a job. Team that's obviously unbeaten at home this season, and yeah, good challenge ahead of us.
Do you still feel, despite the result, perhaps it's difficult at this moment when you're still gutted, that performance-wise this was another step forward? Do you feel like still you are in a better place than you were?
I'm not sure. It's still a process. I've mentioned it many times. I think second half felt maybe a little bit like a step up. First half we were still not fully in control, and could have done better. Should have done better. But obviously you go in half-time still 0-0. You speak with each other, come out much better in the second half, and 1-0 up, and then it's obviously a different game, and you have to handle that as well. And like I said, unfortunately today the penalty moment was the deciding moment, and yeah, that's the reality.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jamie, what do you think? Did Liverpool's performance deserve more today?
I think Man City were by far the better team first half. I think Liverpool had a spell in the second half, I think for probably 20-25 minutes, where they looked like they had Man City on the rack. I don't think Liverpool deserved to win. Maybe you could argue a draw would have been maybe a fair result. But
what do you think they would reflect on that's cost them?
Big mistakes again, and that's the 4th time now this season they've conceded a 90th minute winner. So it's not a one-off. It happens all the time, and I'd be interested to see what the manager says. But the manager's taken a lot of criticism from Liverpool supporters this season, and some of it warranted. But if you notice, we're in the 3rd stage of Liverpool this season. So at the start of the season, Liverpool games were like that, and it was end to end, and they were being very lucky, and they went in the last minute. And then they had the thing where the manager thought, this has to stop. We're in a spell of losing 9 games in 12, I think it was, and then he went more defensive, more pragmatic. The Mo Salah thing blows up, and then Liverpool start getting results, not winning a lot of games, but not losing too many. But it's boring. You're coming to Anfield, no one's getting excited, so there's criticism on the back of that. Now we've come back sort of the last few weeks, let's say since Mo Salah's come back from the African nations, Liverpool have played a front 4, and that was my worry today. Now, that was a great game. If you're at home as a neutral, you've thought, what a game that was. But you say the same against Newcastle. You say the same against Bournemouth away. Great for the neutral. Lost 2 out of 3. So the manager's going to have a decision to make again. And I'm not just talking about Mo Salah, but I'm talking about a front 4. I thought today the way to go probably would have been putting, I'm not just saying this after the event, I said this before the game, but maybe putting Verts to the left, maybe playing Curtis Jones. I think if Liverpool continue the way they are, with a front foot and games end to end, I just don't see how they can make the Champions League positions at all. But no matter what he does, the makeup of this squad, the balance of the team and the squad is not right. So it never looks stable. They never look in control. Even if the game's exciting, you never feel in control. Even when the games are slow and pragmatic, it never feels like you're fully in control as well. So, yeah, it's. I think there's a long road ahead for Liverpool to make the Champions League positions.
As Jamie says, Daniel, there was a period in that second half where Manchester City were very much on the back foot. Is there an argument that actually that maybe perhaps Arne Slot might make that if one or two of these chances go for Ekitike or Florian Wirtz, then it might have been a very different story?
I think the problem for Liverpool is not creating chances, it's scoring the chances they create and conceding chances from the opposition. You know, for a player of these guys' qualities, there's a lot of top players out here, guys who we know what they're capable of. You know, these are the chances a guy full of confidence, Ekitike, you'd expect him to at least target there. But I think all in all, they'll be very disappointed. You know, Jamie made it a great point about there being a front four, and you could argue that, as you say, if these chances go in, it's a very, very different game, and we talk about the positives of it all. But I think it's okay if you're going to be attacking, but then outscore the opposition. And that's, I know it's a simple thing to say, but that's one of the things that you have to do. If you're going to go more attacking, ensure that you're taking your opportunities. And these images show you a team that it seems as if sometimes they're incredible in front of goal, very decisive, brilliant, and other games they're showing
big
things
chances,
like this.
aren't there? When you look, they're big chances they're creating. And that'd have been a madness from the goalkeeper at the end. Obviously, 8 league losses so far this season is not good enough. But when your goalkeeper comes up and there's a bit of madness like that towards the end, that doesn't help. And last year, Liverpool won a lot of games by the odd goal, wasn't it? So maybe last year, I'm not taking away from winning the title last year. They weren't as good as we all thought. And now at this moment in time, you got senior players making big mistakes. Obviously, it's going to cost you.
That tells a little bit of a story, doesn't it? Second for shots per game, 16th for shot conversion. But I think you, if I'm right, Roy, you were saying at half-time that this is the approach that you wanted to see from Liverpool, a little bit end-to-end.
Yeah, just from the game today, from what I saw today, because City obviously had an attack in front three, and there's still signs you'd never be writing City off for Pep.
But is it the right approach if it doesn't bring you results?
No, obviously not. Obviously, you'd have to tweak it. James made the point here where if Liverpool are this week in, week out, you're going, oh, hold on a second. But when Liverpool are the champions, and I've been critical of them, and Man City come to town, and Man City are a bit off it, particularly away from home, you're thinking, kind of get your best players on the pitch. And if Liverpool were clinical today, they would have won the game. So we know football's fine margins. They had chances, and then a bit of madness at the end. So from my attitude looking at Liverpool today, I'm thinking, yeah, you're a big club. You had a go at them. You went, it's like two heavyweights having a go at each other. And they came off the wrong end of it. But overall, you can't be doing that week in, week out, because obviously you're going to come unstuck. But they did create loads of chances, and they weren't clinical enough.
As Jamie says, it made for sensational entertainment for the neutrals that were watching on. But how...